Hello, everyone. This is Tom. Welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel for Dukes of Hazard Friday Night Live. And yes, Hazard County just keeps getting worse every week. Well, the channel's definitely growing. I got about 100 more views or so to get to 250,000 views, 250,000 views. But I don't even have 500 subscribers. But whatever. Uh, I'm not gonna go. My YouTube rant is going to be after I cover everything. So if you want to stay on the video, listen to my YouTube rant, my rant to YouTube, not about YouTube, but to YouTube. I'll call them out on the carpet. You can stay for it. I wrote down, got some stuff from my analytics I want to share with everybody to show you the type of control that they have. And believe me, I played a few games with them this week and definitely found out the control they have. Hello, Carol. How are you doing this evening? Anyway, the sub deal, me getting subs, in order for me to get 5 subs, I have to get 10 subs. Meaning, for every 2 I get, they take 1 away. So, anybody watching this, make sure you're still subscribed. So, um, that's what they're doing. But, like I say, I'll give the rant after this video or after I cover the major stuff of my calling YouTube out on the carpet. Okay, let's get started with tonight's subject. Buying votes. I'm so tired of hearing it from politicians. What they will do for somebody by taking money from me and distributing it and spending it on their so called needs. Okay? I'm done with it. You know, back when it's been going on for a long time. Special interest groups, when they do the budgets and they put all this pork in for special interests and stuff, they're buying votes. They've been buying votes with our money for years and years and years. Hi, Kristen. But now they're just more obvious about it by giving people things and buying them things, the government. Or I should say, the government with our money, okay? But let's go back to the Bush years. Remember, I mean, he wasn't buying votes because this was in his second term. But remember when he gave us that tax rebate? Or was that 2008? Yeah, I think it was 2000. I don't know, but we got this tax rebate, and then everything sat there and went crazy. I mean, that was just his little thing, maybe trying to get McCain in. But then McCain sits there and says in October, just before the crash, that the economy is just fine. Remember that was that 3 weeks before the election, he said everything was just fine, and it wasn't about a couple days later, and all hell started breaking loose. And then what they say, if we don't pass $1 trillion bill, people are going to be out in the streets with pitchforks and torches. I think that's how we got the money because that's what they do. They were starting to pass these $1 trillion bills, and they would sit there and give the Americans 10% of it. Shoving money at us to make it happy that the rich guy was getting 90% of it. That's another thing. All you rich billionaires needed my butt to bail you out. You had to get billions of dollars from the government. But you're not going to call that welfare, right? Because you got billions. It's not welfare when you got billions. No, it's crazy time. It's worse than welfare. Okay. Then we get Obama. And one thing I want to say about Obama, what we're dealing with now because of Obama. Obama got up there and said he was going to fundamentally transform this country. And he has now, hasn't he? I mean, one thing about these Democrats, they're not lying about what they're doing, okay? They're full face saying it. And it seems like only there's a few of us that can hear it. Whatever. But what did Obama do? The same thing. What was the biggest bill that they passed? Oh, over $3 trillion. I think it was the biggest one they passed. Giving the American people some. Okay. buying votes. And then the healthcare that just had free healthcare for people, buying votes. The Obama phones, buying votes. I mean, they're just flat out in the open saying we're buying votes now. I don't understand it. Using our tax dollars to promise all these people a little nugget. You know, this is one thing our founding fathers did not want our government giving money to the citizens because they knew exactly this is what would happen, especially when the ones in charge get to pick the winners and losers, get to pick who gets money and who don't get money, gets to pick who succeeds and who doesn't succeed. You know, when they're giving our money a way like this, they're not going to give it to somebody that's going to succeed that's against them. No. And what did Obama do? Oh, bunch of money to alternative energy companies, like that 500 million that he gave to the one solar company. That's just many of them, but it went under. But out of that 500 million, how much went to the Democratic Party in campaign donations? I'm just curious. That's another thing. They give all this money out in this budgets, and and then they have to give some of it back for campaign contributions. Of course, I'm sure that never goes on, right? Okay, but just buying votes, picking a class or a group of people out there that feels they're being, put down in some way. And a guy like me who's enjoying my white privilege every day by working his butt off every day, you know, I got to pay for it. Okay. Then we'll get to Trump because I think it's fair that everybody gets hit on this. Now, Trump wasn't really giving money to the people except our normal health and human services, but he spent money like a sailor. But what about the repo market, Trump? What was that, September 2019? When banks didn't even trust each other anymore to lend money to each other overnight, so the government took over the repo market. They should have went under. Okay, if you run your business into the ground and you need to come to the taxpayer to say, bail me out, you go out of business. There's no such thing as too big to fail or too famous or popular to go to prison. Okay, we need to get back to a land of laws, not a land of men anymore. But what about that repo market, Trump? Which I'm sure the United States government is still now in charge of the repo market. I haven't heard that the banks started lending money to banks overnight. The repo market is where a bank needs money. Okay, so they'll borrow money from another bank, just overnight loan, which paid back the next day. Okay, so banks would do this back and forth, and the billions of dollars, not just a little bit of money. You're talking billions of dollars, and then the banks didn't trust in each other anymore. So we were about to have a banking collapse. So the government came in and took over the repo market and started adding funds to it to borrow to banks. And let me tell you something about the amount of money that started going in or being borrowed from the repo market increased dramatically. You know, when you borrow money from the United States taxpayer, you're really not on the hook for anything. Okay, Trump, like I say, one thing about Trump, if he's able to get in office and they don't somehow a miracle and it's all fair, okay, whatever. If he gets in office and doesn't do his job, I'll come down on him harder than I do the Democrats because I expect this crooked crap out of the Democrats. He does it. I'll be screaming even louder. We need somebody in there that's going to fix the problem. Don't care about how people's feelings, don't care about rich people or nothing. To fix our problems, we need to worry about these countries' problems, not how people are going to feel while we're fixing the problems. That's my little spiel on Trump. He better do his damn job. But look, the election, that'll be a different video because I'm sure. Anyway, Biden. Biden buying votes. He did this twice. Promised it in 2020 and in 2022 for the midterms. Anybody remember what that was? College forgiveness loans. Forgive your college loans. Okay. All these people asking for them to forgive their loans. See, that's just one way they can get it. One way. Forgive their college loans. Then, oh, we're having a hard time. We're going to forgive your car loan, or we're going to forgive your mortgage. Well, the taxpayers paying for all this because the big company, the banks, they can say, "Well, we're taking our money." Okay, crazy time. But he did that twice. College loans, college loans, college loans. You know, they always go back to the same thing too. Remember when Obama come in, shovel ready jobs for infrastructure? Yeah. And that's always when they go back to too. We're gonna fix the infrastructure. Well, I know we're spending a lot of money on Ukraine's infrastructure, but I don't know if we're spending too much on ours. Okay. Yeah, they want to go to electric cars. There's no way our power grid can even come close to handling that. But whatever, these people, they want it so bad and they get emotional. I just want it, but they don't think of the practical and all the way through. They're on step one, and they don't understand we need 100 more steps in line before you can even sit there and start your crazy idea. You know. So anyway, um, money for illegals in Biden. Okay, I'm so sick of the Health and Human Services Department. I just really am. It just demotivates people to not be able to accomplish what they're to push themselves to the max. Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to get up off the couch and decide I'm ready to take on the world. Okay? And when you do decide that, it's not going to happen overnight. It's a long-term thing that takes years. But the best time to start is now. The day you get started, you know, you wake up one day and this is going to be, you sit there and say to yourself, this is going to be the first day of the rest of my life. And then you work at it. Work at it. And you know the best thing about achieving a goal where nobody helps you? The feeling of accomplishment in sense of I did it myself. Okay. But oh, and then one thing Biden did with these, you know, like I say, the government passing out money in these uh spending bills. You know, all the money that the LGBTQIA plus group got out of that last budget. I mean, they even gave, what was it, a few $1,000,000 to a non-gender zoo. I'm not exactly sure if they're thinking animals were non-gender or that's just non-gender people. Stupid. Okay? Stupid. What's that got to do with America? You know, government, you need to be worried about securing our borders, not other countries' borders, making sure our money supply is secure, and making sure other countries respect us in the country by doing the American people's business with other countries. Okay? That's what you need to start spending money on. Lobbyists shouldn't be allowed at all in the halls of Congress. I mean, who lobbies for us? I mean, isn't basically our congressmen our lobbyists? So we got some other guy comes in there we don't even know or see him, and they have these meetings, and they're promised money under the table and all this stuff. And they said, "Well, we got you. You got to vote our way now." Anybody who takes money from a lobbyist or even talks to him, okay, you can be bought. You give a lobbyist the time of day, you can be bought, okay? Because they're con men. But anyway, whatever. Okay, but that, like I say, all these spending stuff. Oh, one quick thing. See this? It is a buffalo horn, which has been probably laying here since a buffalo used to roam here. Every once in a while, you run into these out on the pastures and stuff. Now, I worked for a guy once. He said in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, you were still able to find skulls, but not no more. But pretty cool, huh? I love touching parts of history. Anyway, so this side note. All right. Now let's get into Harris. What's she promising? This is what I got to get up in the morning and hear. $25,000 down payment on a house if you are qualified. Let me tell you something. Home ownership is something that most Americans want. Me, never again. When I was in Minnesota, I owned two 10-acre parcels of property. One of them, I put a camper on, and nothing had a foundation. My taxes on that property, even though I had developed it and I had my horses there and everything, $162 a year. And then my other piece of property, 10 acres, had a house on it. $2,500 a year, plus $1,500 a year for insurance. So I paid $4,000 a year just for the privilege, plus my payment every month to own my house. And then when you go to sell them, forget it. To sell my land was nothing. Sign your name. To sell my house, my place with the house on, was crazy. But anyway, home ownership. Most everybody's dream. Your pursuit of happiness. Now, the founding fathers gave you the right, or God-given right, to pursue your happiness. They didn't say nothing about the government helping you out do it. Helping you out to do it. No, 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 no. That's not part of the gig. To take money from me to help somebody else pursue their happiness. You know how you achieve happiness? By achieving your goal yourself. It's just I got this house, but somebody else paid for it. Buying votes. And we're allowing this, but they don't look as buying votes. Well, Kamala and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, you give your money for that then. You want to go buy votes, you go spend your money, especially when you're that blatant about it. I mean, that's just flat out blatant. And then what's going to happen when all of a sudden these people, because our economy is going to crash and unemployment's going to go in the toilet, or unemployment's going to skyrocket. And then we're going to have just like 2008, except 10 times worse. Remember, you borrow money from the American people, you're not on the hook for anything. I believe the politicians that sign these bills should be on the hook to pay these things off. But that's what I got to listen to this morning, first thing. How about we get a politician in there that promises me freedom, liberty, my pursuit of happiness, and my God-given rights. And it doesn't cost the taxpayer a single dime. I don't hear any politician doing that. If you need somebody to get into Congress so they can help you out, you're no better than the big companies with the lobbyists. If you're voting that way. Like I say, another thing the founding fathers didn't want, where people would vote because they could get something from the government. They didn't want none of that to ever happen. And look what's going on. Anyway, stupid. And the American people just rah, rah, rah this. Oh, I'm going to get something. if I vote this way? Would you rather get money and be a slave or not get money and be free and be able to go any direction you want, take any job you want, worship any god you want? Or would you rather take that worthless green piece of paper and become a slave? Yep. And then all these people are going to buy these homes and they ain't going to be able to pay for them because the economy's going to go to crap and they'll be unemployed. And all of a sudden, we're going to go to 2008, 2009, 10 times worse. You know, maybe even more than that. Because how much has the median home price went up since 2008? About $250,000. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, I know enough about economics to know that if you're taking from this jar to throw to these people, and and you're not filling that jar fast enough, eventually, when you don't have nothing to throw to these people are going to come after you. But don't worry, you Democrats got it all figured out. Now we're going to talk about living under communism. Okay, I'm going to do this one first before I go to the next one. Living under communism. Okay, these communists, like I'm sure Kamala Harris and all these other communists in the country are thinking, now if we take it over, I know it's never worked in the past, but if we can have just more control over the system and everybody else, it will work this time. Because we're the most intelligent people in the world, right, Cackles? That we're going to make it work this time. We just need more control. Okay? And then, where you don't have rights anymore. You have privileges granted to you by the government. Meaning, what privileges do we got now from the government? One major one, our driver's license. What happens if you break the law to a certain point if you have a driver's license? They revoke it. Okay? Now, when you have privileges, they'll just come and throw you in jail, in a gulag or whatever. Living under communism. And then they want to go to the digital dollar. I made a video on that. Total control. When they can control how you spend your money, they can control what you buy. And if the government feels you don't need it, it don't matter how much money you have on that card. You're not going to be able to get it. That is the best way to ration somebody and control somebody and control an whole area. All right. And then with the new technology they got with monitoring homes, be able to monitor how much electricity you use, it's just a recipe for disaster when they can control your thermostat. So, I'm telling you, it's just the bad news. And then everybody living in the same apartment, driving the same car, using the same toilet paper, having the same couch, having the same TV, making sure it's hooked up to that government station, NPR. Probably the only channel you'll be able to get. Or all these choices are going to be gone. You'll have the government channel 1, the government channel 2, and the government channel 3. Those are the 3 channels you have. You can choose whatever one you want. It's just basically the same channel. Okay, that's one thing about communism. Everybody is equal at the bottom. You know why? Because I can't take somebody who has no ambition at all and rise him up to the level I'm at. That's something he's got to find in himself. But the government can try to knock me down to his level. You understand? Okay. If I try to use cash for all my purchases because the government tracks purchases made for credit or debit cards. Yeah, I know. I try to use cash too. I was a cash man, but they make it now so you have direct deposit. I used to go to the bank that the boss did and cash my checks. I never had a bank account. But now with direct deposit, they're forcing you to use the bank service. Just another way they're controlling you. Well, yeah, you can work here and you can have a job, but if you want to get paid, you got to have a bank account. All for convenience, right? No, it's all about control. I mean, can you imagine the banking system now like it was in the 70s and 80s? Like in my small town of 2000, we had one brick factory and one factory that made air compressors. And they both got paid on Friday night. We had two banks in town. Now, can you imagine these days if you had that situation and everybody went there to cash a paycheck to get cash back? There's not enough cash there because all the paper's being sent overseas. That's why it's ones and zeros. Because the bank, what are they going to do? I mean, you draw money out of a bank now and you're going to draw a few thousand out. I got to give them a couple days' notice. I won't let them ask me what it's for, but you still got to come give them a couple days' notice. Why? It's my money. It should be in the bank, right? I guess not. Especially if you take out a sum of 10,000 or more. Boy, they really get nosy then. But I don't care. Give me my money or I'll close my account. It's amazing how you get your money. Say they will not control me in any way. Okay. And one thing I am saying right now, okay, and one thing I want to say about Klaus Schwab too, you'll own nothing and like it. You see communism? Because the government owns everything and gives you the privilege to buy it or use it. Okay. Now I'm going out on a limb here. And I'm going to say something, and I'm going to stick to it. If we allow Kamala Harris to steal the election, and we don't do nothing, okay, like I'm hearing on these prepper channels, all these channels, yeah, we know they're going to steal it, but there's really nothing we can do about it. Really? Willing to accept what's coming? Just keep prepping. It doesn't matter. Once we get communists, they are going to come and take your preps. Because in communism, one thing you can't be in communism is self-sufficient. You must be dependent on the government. That's how they maintain control. They take care of all your needs and what little bit of privileges to fill your wants you want. Okay? But what I'm saying, if we allow this steal, let me get this out. If we allow this steal and we don't do nothing, I'm going to my boss. And I'm telling him on November 6th, I start working for nothing. I will not go out there and sweat at all. So he's got to give money to this insane government. I will not support it. Yeah, I'll have to sacrifice. The nice thing about me, I get a house, don't have to pay nothing for it. Out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no people. Get a house. Okay? I don't have a single bill. All my living expenses are taken care of. I got my cell phone bill and my car insurance. And when I get my ultralight airplane, since I don't need a license to fly it, and I don't need insurance to fly it, and I don't need to put no tabs or nothing on it to fly it, I'm getting rid of my driver's license because I'm flying that thing everywhere. Okay? The nice thing about having that is when stuff gets crazy, I'm going to have a new bug out location, hundreds of miles from here. I can travel, fly. I'm out here out west where nobody can see me stay low and fly in the hills, and I'll have a place that they ain't gonna know where I'm at. But anyway, that's what's coming to. That's how I will not be a communist or support communism, even if I got to go without pay. Okay. Now I can just see it. My boss getting in trouble because I won't accept the paycheck because the government can't make their money off of my labor. Can you see that? Where I would go to jail because I refuse a paycheck to pay taxes? Say, no, I refuse a paycheck. I don't make money. I work for free. I mean, just imagine. Now, I'm a little different. I realize that. But a man's got to stand on his principles and morals. It's either that or I go live with Bigfoot. I will not support financially at all a communist regime. Okay, and that's my sacrifice. Maybe if other Americans were willing to sacrifice a little bit, we could solve a lot of problems. Whatever. If I got to be the example, I'll be the example. But anyway, stealing the election. That's what you hear on YouTube. Everybody knows they're going to deal. No, there's no way Cackles can win an election when she was a drag on the ticket just a couple months ago. And they're trying to get rid of her. And now she's the country's lifesaver. Give me a break. All these fake polls and stuff. This is just to sit there and try to make us believe of the steal. Okay? I mean, they're hiring people to come to her rallies. Hiring. Really? But see, don't worry. I'm sure that's just fake news, even though it's true. Okay? But that's all they're doing is trying to set up the mentality that she's got this in the bag. Okay, another thing I can tell you? Well, I know Joe Biden voters are really upset because this one liberal post that keeps coming on my feed. No matter what I do, I can't get rid of it. Well, let me tell you, his likes and views have gone down quite a bit since Kamala Harris has been introduced as the nominee, selected by the hierarchy of the Democratic Party. You Democrats, your vote didn't count. How does that feel? Okay, but we're going to do nothing. I'm so sick of hearing prepper channels do this. Say this. Or any channel. Really? Especially guys who've been in the military. Oh, we're surrounded. I give up. I don't want that guy in my foxhole. What do you mean we can't do nothing? We have the authority, the right, and everything to do to get over it. But see, when you got a bigger platform than me, I wish some of these people would start saying this. But they're afraid the FBI is going to show up their door. Screw the FBI. A bunch of lawyers with badges. Hopefully they'll be gone real soon. And I know when the war breaks out, they're going to be running like a bunch of dogs with tail between their legs. Okay, what are you going to do, FBI, when you bring out 28 agents, but all of a sudden you're surrounded by 5,000 people? Going to go down like the Alamo? Not one of you guys got the balls to do that. Anyway. So, but stealing the election. I just don't know how people can consciously think they're going to put up with it this time. Knowing it's going to happen. Knowing there's no way Cackles can win. Okay. I mean, to try and say she's black. Anything they can pull out of their hat. Hey, we're going to give you 25,000. What's the next thing next week they're going to buy some more votes with? They're going to bring up the forgiving the college loans. Maybe bring up forgiving car loans. You sign that dotted line or the line on the loan payments, you're responsible for that loan. So you're telling me now that if people are going to default on loan, the banks are going to go to the government and say now the American taxpayer is now responsible for this? I didn't sign nothing. And that's why I'm not in debt, because I'm not going to give a bank a freaking dime. If I want something, I do this thing. I save up my money and then I go pay cash for it. It's always nice when you buy something and you get a title and it says no security interests. The freedom. You know, how many people pay almost $1,000 a month just to look at their vehicle in their garage or driveway? And that's not even driving it. $1,000 a month between payment and insurance. Money well spent, right? I don't see it. Anyway, I'm not putting up with steal. If we don't organize and end this, and everybody's willing to accept communism because it's better than using your AR-15, what it's supposed to be used for. That rifle's not for hunting. Okay. I'm not going to call it a weapon of war because it's not a weapon of war. Okay. I use weapons of war. That's not a weapon of war. That's not close to a machine gun. It's not close to an M16. Yep. Vehicles. Get out of debt. The thing is, when all this crashes, if you live in a house and the bank wants all their money tomorrow and you ain't got it, you're gone. They're not going to say, I don't care about your one payment. We want it all right now. The thing is, when you borrow money and somebody else actually owns your stuff, they have the control. Anyway, I'm not going to put up with the steal. I'm sick of hearing YouTube channels saying that. We are Americans. We don't put up with that crap. We would have never been this country if the founding fathers would have knuckled under and said, okay, you know what? Especially, I don't know, after the first year of the war, when they were chased up to New York into New Jersey, losing their asses. You know, that's the type of determination we need to beat these people. Excuse me. The same determination the Patriots had, where they had enough. Like me, where I'm willing to sacrifice whatever it takes. When can people catch up? I can't believe I'm the only one that feels like this out there. But then again, it's hard to get my message out there when YouTube doesn't want to put my message out there. They have total control. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Let's go over a bit of some of my videos in the analytics. Okay. Meaning, my information I get on it. Okay. Everybody's seen, my biggest hitter so far is when I was out moving bales with the bale processor and I picked some bales up. Got over 13,300 views so far. Crazy. It's been going on for a week. It's been put on the short 18,300 times. Okay. And like you say, it's still growing. And one thing I'm noticing too on my analytics is that used to be, especially my short feeds, it was all mostly just when they put it on the short. But I notice now it's more not always that way. Okay. Still usually over 90%, but on my lower ones, it's not even 30%. But anyway, that's what I call a bread and circus video. Okay. Something, I was out working all day. I was moving bales. I was bored. And I said, hey, why don't I make a video and show everybody what I'm doing today? That's all it was. Big hit. Okay. But it started out slow and all of a sudden a couple days or a day later, all of a sudden it boomed up. It's like the algorithm just let it go and it went. But not completely, because I'll get into one that let go. All right. So that's the moving bales. Now let's get into some of what I would call the meat and potatoes shorts. That YouTube has a problem with putting on the feed. And I know, Carol, you've seen all this, and Kristen, people have seen all. But the college degree one, okay, about college degree in transgender studies is going to be worth what a degree in Nazi racial theory was at the end of World War II. Truth. Truth. Okay? And this is how YouTube treats that video. 7 views, which isn't a lot. 5 likes out of 7 views. That's pretty good. 4 comments out of 7 views. That's pretty good. You know what the grand total was put on the feed? Not 18,000, not 1,000, not even 100. 10 plus 1, 11 times. Really, YouTube? I'm just giving the information you give me. So we're not going to put that one on the feed about college students, okay? Okay. And also on that one, 167% view duration. That means it was watched more than once. Okay. 167%. Pretty good, huh? But the last thing you'd want to do is put that on the feed. Buried it. Completely buried it. Okay. Now this is one I don't understand why they buried. He can do more than herd cows. When I had Columbus catching the frisbee, right? You know, he was doing a good job too, boy. Really running out there. I tell you what, I've had that dog where I've thrown the frisbee and he'd be running and it would come right over his back, and all he had to do was lift his head up like that and catch it. I've been thinking about a new sport. What you do is you have 2 football fields side by side, right? So you have one guy and his dog and another guy and his dog. And you got to make the 100 yards in you know, you have first downs and stuff just in case your dog misses, you know. But anyway, what you do, and let's say the first downs are 20 yards, so they got 4 times. Okay, so if they don't make the first down in 4, but anyway, you throw the frisbee. Wherever the dog catches the frisbee, that's a new scrimmage line. Okay, and you go to whoever gets 100 yards first. I mean, you could get some guy to be like Happy Gilmore and a good dog that could run 100 yards and do it all at one time. I mean, I think that'd be a cool sport. What do you guys think? Anyway, maybe I'll come up with that one. Anyway, but that one, you know, who would think that one was bad? But anyway, it had 9 views, 4 likes, 2 comments, 153% view duration, but it was only put on the feed 12 times. Okay, and all of the all of the like it was 100% likes. Okay, I'll get into that. Same with the other one, college degree, 100% likes. Okay, now of course we wouldn't want to put that on because obviously Columbus running out to catch a frisbee is, I don't know, offends people. You know, I do this to show people what I'm doing. I show this to people to show you can live a life that's stress free. You just, you know, if you don't want a lot, you can live a life that's stress free. Valentine, stop. Valentine. Anyway, so that's another one. Financial security. With the one I did where it was if you think you're in debt, you're not. just do the government's deal and get a few more credit cards, max them out, because financial, the more in debt you are, the more financial secure you are. I'm sorry, but I don't hold back punches. I say it so people think about it. The only way you're going to become an independent person is by working this, which translates to working these. But anyway, financial security. This was a good one. 10 views, 8 likes, 100% all likes, 2 comments, 208% duration, but it was only put on the feed 15 times. Now, why would you want something like that on the feed? Anyway, then we got another one. The one I did about chemtrails. Fake skies. 5 views, 3 likes, 3 comments, 103% duration, which is a pretty good duration since I'm pointing up at the sky. But it was put on the feed a grand total of 6 times. Wow. Okay. I mean, what do I got? I mean, imagine if I got 20,000 times on the feed with that video, or 20,000 times a feed on the financial security. You know why I know they're playing games? Because I played a little trick. I told you guys that YouTube wants to play its games. I'm going to play its games. I know how a computer thinks. I was taught machine language in the service. I know how a machine thinks. Okay. I know all the ins and outs about ones and zeros. So it's just hard to set it up. But I was able to set YouTube algorithm up to prove that they are suppressing my channel. And how did I do that? One of Tim Waltz's purposes in life. Outstanding title, right? Outstanding title. But anyway, 10 minutes later, I look at my phone. And it's got 400 views. I'm like, what? And then I went to analytics and they put it on the feed 1,500 times in 10 minutes. But then they realized that the algorithm caught on, or somebody reported it, that it was not a positive thing towards Tim Waltz. So between 10 minutes and a half hour, I got 300 more views, which put me at 700. Okay. And from then on, I've got 99 views in the last, 3 days, 2.5 days. They just shut it down. But it got 23 likes. But it actually got 34 because there were 67.6% likes. So that means 11 people hit the dislike button. See, what happened with this is the title brought the liberals to look at it. Okay? And believe me, I got some nasty comments on that one. It's saying that I'm getting my information from social media. Saying, oh, no. Not that. I used to live under his insanity. That's why I moved out of Minnesota. Don't tell me I'm getting it from social media. No, I experienced it firsthand. But whatever. That just goes to show you. If my channel, the Meat Potatoes videos, would get out there, whatever, it needs to get out there. This is what people need to hear. And YouTube, you can sit there and your other side we got all these people behind us. The polls show Harris is ahead. Bull crap. Okay? If you got to shut this old man up with that type of suppression, and my channel's still growing. I mean, 250,000 views. Really? But only 473 subscribers. But you know what? The word's getting out there. And I have over 800 return viewers and stuff. So the analytics say, you know. But anyway, this is what communism leads to. I mean, when they're going to take all the rights and they admitting it, fundamentally transform the country into a communist country. And the last nail in the coffin is going to be the end of the Constitution and the digital currency. Are you going to do anything to stop it? Has America become so weak and so dependent on the system that we're actually ready to become a communist country? I don't care if 70% of the population wants that. That is not what this country is founded on or what it is about. That is, we are not allowed to be a communist country. But like Thomas Jefferson said, the Constitution can only stand with the moral people. Well, the moral people would have the government fearing us right now. But everybody fears the government. Everybody, these YouTubers. I'm so tired of it. You got a big platform, Canadian Prepper. How about getting on instead of telling us how the world's going to end, which is fine? How about telling us how to save the world? We all need to band together. Get in your groups. Get ready to be armed to take on the government and all these cronies for the next summer of love. And anybody who listens to these unconstitutional laws and orders, forget it. There's something wrong with you. If you go through the life just following, waiting for the next government decree to tell you what you can and can't do, that's what the Jews used to do in Germany. Have they beat us down so bad that most of us are willing to walk into those showers for the good of the rest of the communists? I don't understand it. The American spirit, what made this country? We don't take shit from no country. I guess we'll take crap from our government, though. Hey, we're not going to let a foreign country come in here and invade us, but we'll let the government that's supposed to protect us take us over. Anyway, I could go on this for this about hours, 4 hours. I'm so tired of it. The defeatism, the willing to accept what they say, even though you know it's wrong. Okay, well, if you're going to do that, next time your kids come to you and flat out lie, just pretend you're believing them and turn around and let them do what they want. Because that's what we got. A child that's out of control, that's just doing naughty stuff in front of us all day long, and we won't discipline them. If we need a government in this country, a federal government, if we really need one, it needs to be controlled by the people, not the government controlling the people. Am I the only one that believes this way? Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I'll be back Sunday night. But, I don't like asking for subscribers, or the thing is, we need to get the word out. Subscribers ain't important, okay? If they're going to do this where I get 10 subscribers, but I only get credit for 5 because they're taking 5, I don't care. The views tell me it's being watched. Okay, a lot of them are 100% like, but some of them that the liberals watch, I get the dislikes. But you know what? Still gets them thinking. Because I guarantee you, I piss them off so bad. You can ask anybody who knows me. I will piss you off so bad and get in the back of your head that you will never forget me. I just have that knack. I'm not afraid to do it either. I'm not afraid to say anything, especially if it solves a problem. That's all I had to hear growing up and through my adult life is the truth. That's the truth, Tom. You just got to accept it. And now that I want to sit there and yell the truth from the top of the mountain, I get told, "No, you can't." No, that's not the way it's going to be. So anyway, YouTube, you keep having your fun, but I'm still going to play my game since you want to play your games. Or I don't want to be on YouTube. I want this country to get back to the way it was, so I can live my happy little life. Not that I ain't living a happy life. But like I say, that's the biggest thing. Well, I'm out here enjoying the hell out of myself. Everybody else is, especially in the big cities, is dealing with stuff that they shouldn't have to do. They shouldn't have to deal with. So hopefully one day we can organize and I can do my part in taking care of it so people can live free again. But when we get our freedom back, nobody can be dependent on the government. No government money can be handed out to a business or an American citizen. They gave us a right to pursue our happiness. If your pursuit of happiness isn't filling your financial needs, you need to pursue a different line of happiness. Not go to the taxpayer and say, "Hey, I need you to help me out." Okay? So anyway, I hope the audio was okay tonight. I'm outside. It's just too hot to be in the house. Anyway, that's gonna be all for tonight. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. I'm sure you're just like me, wanting to live your life with no intrusions, happy just the way you are. And that's one thing that upsets them the most. I have nothing. And that's the way I choose to pursue my happiness. Not by trying to chase a dollar bill, but by being happy and doing things that fulfill my life. And that puts a smile on my face and makes me walk proud. And there's nothing more that pisses a liberal off who hates himself so much than to see another human being happy. And they will do whatever it takes to destroy that happiness, to bring you down to their misery level. Remember, we're all equal on the bottom. This Lone Wolf Prepper out.